Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Yoga for Yogis. This is a very special day today. It's American Thanksgiving, and we are so grateful for our wellness community. Words cannot express how much being together every Thursday morning has meant to a lot of us during this extremely challenging time. So, my first thanks goes out to Mandy for being consistent in her dedicated devotion to all of us and to help us on our yoga practice journey, so that we can really be the best version of ourselves that we can be. My second thanks goes out to the Yonkers Public Library for providing us the technology platform of Zoom. My third thanks goes out to Friends of Crestwood Library who filled in the gaps when needed. And we want to thank also the Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter for providing funding for this and other wellness programs. And the most important thanks is to each and every one of you who form our wellness community and who show up consistently for yourselves and for one another. And this is the true blessing and the true gift and the true meaning for me of this day. So without further ado, I will ask you to make sure you have blocks or books, belt, sash, scarf, if you have extra blankets, pillows, extra mats, whatever you need to make yourself comfortable in your practice. And I'm going to hand this over to Mandy to lead us in a wonderful morning wake up.
All right, good morning. So definitely you would need a block today, at least one. It would be better two, but one is fine. So, or a book or two. And today is about core and twisting and getting ourselves ready for tonight. So lie down on your, oh yes, and then if you, it's pretty much only for your knees, to cushion the knees, but the main thing is get a blanket or all your stuff ready for your shavasana, so that you can cover yourself, socks, pillows, blankets. All right, so we will start lying down. So keep your knees bent. And then bring your feet out as wide as the mat. Rest the knees on each other. And then see how you, maybe you can bring the chin a little closer towards the chest, lengthen the back of the neck, and then just relax there. Don't push down too much. And then bring both hands onto the belly. Very easy pranayama. Just belly breath. So just start following your breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And then see if you can bring the breath down towards the belly, so that when you inhale through your nose, the belly rises a little. And when you exhale out through the nose, the belly lowers down. Your hands go down. If you want, you could add a little bit of an ujjayi breath on your exhale. just to lengthen the exhale a little bit. And put some focus and intention into that exhale. And then slowly become aware through the exhale of your abdominal muscles. How if you tense them up, scoop them in and up, it helps you to exhale more and longer. And you're letting in the new and fresh oxygen, and we let go of the old. And then slowly bring both hands back down beside your body and keep breathing in. Full inhale and full exhale. And then slowly bring the attention to your knees and to your feet and to your hips. You can keep your eyes closed and just slowly start moving both knees to the left and slowly move over to the right. Very gently, try not to force too much movements. Like a natural swing to the left and the right. Feel that movement in your lower back, maybe in your hips, and maybe in your thighs, outside of the legs. Let that movement slowly become a little bit bigger. And then when you feel like, yeah, I can stay here for a little longer, then choose one side. I chose the left side. And just drop your knees to the left, drop the legs to the left, and see how you can maybe relax. With your next exhale, let go a little more. Let the knees become heavy, the legs become heavy. If you want, you can bring your arms a little bit wider. Maybe you can adjust your neck, scoop the shoulders away from the ears, and your lower body twisting over to one side, both legs twisting over to one side. And then slowly, slowly come back to the middle and rest the knees on each other. Maybe find the middle, maybe you lift your hips a little and then adjust to the right in the middle. And then again, you move your legs slowly from the left to the right. Take your time. I can hear some background noise. All right.
We're all good, my dear. We're just enjoying your wonderfulness.
So then move your knees a little bit, make the range of motion a little bit bigger. And then just let the knees fall to the opposite sides. And just see If you can let go a little more with every exhale. Maybe this side feels a little different, feels a little easier, maybe not. Both is fine, both is okay. One more full inhale and one more full exhale. And slowly bring your knees back to the middle. And again, adjust your feet, bring the knees together, lift your hips, find, that even balanced way. Both hips are evenly lying on the back. And then just bring your feet together, walk them slowly in, and then make a little bit space in between the knees and your feet and bring your heels a little closer towards your hips. Bring your hands right beside the body. Take a deep breath in. Arch that lower back as you take that deep breath in. And when you exhale out, flatten that lower back curve down into the mat. And start lifting up your hips. Roll up into a very gentle, small bridge pose. Stay here, long neck. Press your arms down into the mat, press your feet down, and then start rolling back down, bone by bone by bone. Relax. And then take a deep breath in, arch that lower back. Fill that belly with air. Fill your lungs with air. And then as you exhale, scoop the abs in and up. Flatten the lower back down into the mat. And then straight away, lift the tailbone. Lift your lower back. Lift your middle back. And come a little bit higher into that bridge pose. Open up the whole front of the body. Hip flexors, knees, belly, a little bit of shoulders, and then slowly roll back down, bone by bone by bone. And then for the next one, if you like, you can interlace your fingers underneath your body if you feel that's an option. If not, just keep your arms right beside. So bend your elbows, palms facing each other. Press your elbows into the mat, lift your chest a little, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Once you lift that up and create a little bit of space, bring your arms right beside your body. Take a deep breath in, arch that lower back just a little, and then as you exhale out, scoop the abs in and up and start lifting up in your bridge pose. Lift, 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 long neck. And then if you like, if this is an option, interlace your fingers and open up your hands, open up your elbows, and then maybe wiggle from the left to the right to come on the very tips of your shoulders, long neck, chin is by the chest. Open the whole front of the body. Maybe you can lift a little higher and maybe not. That's okay too. Open the whole front of the body. And then slowly, if your fingers are interlaced, bring your arms right beside you and then start rolling down. Start with the thoracic spine between your shoulder blades. Roll down bone by bone, and the tailbone is the last thing that touches the floor. Beautiful. And then just shake the legs out a little bit. And bring your legs or stretch your legs out. Take a deep breath into your belly, flex your feet for a moment, push your heels away. Maybe lift your left leg just an inch off the floor, stretch it out, make it longer. Same thing with the left. Lift it up, stretch it out, make it longer, then relax your feet. Bring your arms all the way up. Lift your right shoulder off the floor. So if you want to touch the ceiling, plug the shoulder back down. Lift your left arm. Lift your left shoulder off the floor. Plug it back down. Feel the space between your shoulders and your ears become a little bit bigger. Long neck. And then bring your arms above your head onto the floor. And then walk your feet over to the right side. Wherever it stops, and you are still with both hips on the floor, that's fine. Stay there and feel a little bit of a stretch maybe in the side, in the left side of your body. You can also cross your ankle, your left ankle over your right, and then move the upper body over to the right as well. Arms over to the right. So you could, with your right hand, touch or hold your left wrist and come into this side bend. Banana stretch, C stretch, whatever you want to call that. Feel the side body opening, the ribs, the space in between your ribs. Breathe into that. So when you take a deep breath in, feel how you expand your whole side body. One more deep inhale. Full long exhale. Slowly bring your upper body back to the middle. And then bring your feet back to the middle. And then bring your arms back up and lift the shoulders. First the right off the floor, put it back down. Then the left, put it back down. Lift your arms overhead. And then walk your feet over to the left side. All right. And then if you want to, you could cross your ankles, right toes over left. And then maybe bring the upper body over to the left side too. And again, if you like, you could hold on with your left hand onto the right wrist and just open the whole side body. Breathe into the space between the ribs. And feel how it lengthens from your ankles through your hips, the side of the ribs, the armpit, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingertips. One deep inhale and exhale. And then slowly bring the upper body back to the middle and then walk your feet back to the middle, bend your knee, then bend the other and bring your arms right beside the body. And then bring your right foot onto the left knee and lift your left knee into the body. Take a deep breath in. And then bring, as you exhale, bring that left knee into the body just a little. Push that right knee out. And then slowly lower down, switch to the other side. Left foot goes onto the right knee, bring your right leg in. Push that left knee out, push that right knee into that left ankle. Breathe. And slowly lower everything back down. Keep your knees bent. And actually bring your right knee up into a tabletop position. And lift your left hand, lift your head. And then just push your right knee into the left hand. And see if you can make a difference from pushing your leg in and using the leg muscles. And change that to pushing in with the core. that the power you have here comes from your abs, from the core muscles. Feel how that lower back is pushing down into the floor. Swoop those abs in and up. And slowly lower everything back down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Lift your left leg. Lift your head. Lift your right hand. Press your right hand into your left knee. Press your left knee into the right hand. And feel the power from this movement coming from your core. Keep breathing. Feel it scoop those abs in and up. And slowly lower everything back down. And then bring both knees up into the air. Bring your hands on top of the knees. Lift your head and press your hands into the knees and the knees into your hands. Scoop. Slowly lower everything back down. Roll onto your side and come up into the seated position. Bring your hands to the sides. And then bring your right hand over to your left knee for the first twist. And then turn the upper body towards that left side. Breathe here, grow tall. Slowly untwist. Bring your left hand over to the right knee. Bring your right hand behind you. Grow tall and go into your twist. Untwist. And slowly come onto the hands and the knees. Spread your fingers wide. And come into a cat-cow flow. Lift your gaze, drop your belly off the lower back. Inhale, and then as you start with the exhale, scoop the abs in and up, and drop the head down. Push all the way up towards the sky, and again open up the chest. You will drop the belly forward and inhale. Scoop your abs in and up, drop the belly down, push the floor away. Lift the head, drop the belly. And just do a couple of those in your own time, in your own breathing rhythm. And then find your neutral spine. Tuck your toes under and then press into your hands. Lift your knees just an inch off the floor and feel how the core is firing up. Bring your hands as if you want to move your hands towards your knees and your knees towards your hands. And slowly lower back down. Untuck the toes. Sit back in the child pose. Slowly lift back up. Hands right underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes under one more time. Let the knees hover 1 inch over the floor. And then move your hands and your knees together like you were just doing, lying on the back. Feel the core activating, firing up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Slowly lower the knees down. Untuck the toes. Rest in child pose. And then walk your hands over to your left side. Keep your hips in the middle. Feel the space expanding again on your right side. Breathe. And then walk your hands slowly back to the middle. And then over to the outside. Keep the hips in the middle. Breathe into the side. And then walk your hands back to the middle. Rest your head. Take again a full inhale. Full exhale. Press into your hands. Come back into table. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips into downward facing dog. Pedal legs. And again, lower down onto the knees. Take your time. And then bring your right foot in between your hands. Lower your hips down towards the floor. Again, adjust. Make sure about that foot. And open up the front of that left hip. If you like, you can stay here. You can also bring your hands onto the knee and push the knee away. No lunge. And then lift one arm if you like. Maybe two arms. Reach up high. Press down into your feet, the knee, the back of the foot. And then if your right knee is forward, bring your left arm forward and we come into a twist. Right arm goes behind you. Open up the chest. Tall spine. Long spine. Breathe. And lift your arms back up and lower down. Slide your foot back and into table. Breathe here. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips into downward facing dog. Pedal your legs. Make sure your sit bones are lifted up high. Unlock your elbows. Maybe if you can, lift your toes. See if that's an option. And spread them out wide, put them back down. Breathe. And come onto the tippy toes, lower down onto your knees. And we bring the left foot forward. Lower the hips down. Wiggle the foot forward. Breathe here. You can definitely stay here. You can also come with me, put the hands on the knee, push the knee away. And if you feel like it, lift both arms up, reach up high. Maybe come into a small back bend, very gentle. And then we come into a twist. So maybe your right arm goes to the front. And if your left arm is a little bit, if this is a little too much, see if you can put your left hand onto the hip. Should have told you that with the other side too, right? So see how that feels. Maybe it's not that intense. Drop the shoulders down, breathe. And then slowly lift your arms. And bring your hands back down. Take your time. And then slide that left foot back. Tuck your toes under. Lift up into downward facing dog. Yes, pedal. And then find some stillness in the downward dog. Breathe here. Look towards your ankles or maybe your knees. Feel the neck lengthening. And then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Come into a forward fold. And we stay here just for a moment. You can hold on to your elbows. You can bend your knees just a little or a lot, whatever feels good. And then sway from the left to the right. You can also just let the arms hang down, shake yes or no, and then let the upper body drop down, melt down towards the floor. Bend your knees a little more, rest your upper body on your lower body. And then slowly press down into your feet, scoop those abs in and up. And we inhale halfway up. Hands on shin bones, exhale forwards. Inhale halfway up, hands onto your shin bones, shoulders away from the ears, exhale forward. Breathe. Reverse swan dive, come all the way up with me. Reach up towards the sky. And then bring the hands to the sides. Sorry. Okay, bring your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees just a little. Hands right in front or facing forward from mountain pose. Scoop your abs in and up. Sway maybe a little to the left and the right so you find that balance right in between. Lift your arms, inhale up, lift your gaze towards the ceiling, hands touch, exhale, arms go back down to the sides. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, lower your arms and your gaze, feel the length of your neck. Lift your arms, inhale, stay up here, exhale. And then reach with your right fingertips, reach up towards the ceiling. You come into a very small side bend. And then come back to the middle, drop your shoulders down. And then lift your shoulders all the way up and reach the left hand a little bit higher towards the ceiling. Come into a slight bend towards the right. And then slowly come back down. Bring your hands in front of your chest. Breathe here. Bend your knees. And come with me into a chair pose. Sit down. Lift your arms all the way up towards the sky. Reach up high. Bring your hands in front of your chest. And then we come into a twist. Bring your right elbow towards the left knee and come into chair pose with a twist. Breathe here. Shoulders away from the ears. And then slowly come out of your twist. Lift your arms all the way up. And then come out of that chair pose. And bring the hands in front of your chest. Lift your toes, spread them out wide, put them back down. Come back into chair pose. Breathe here. Lift your arms all the way up. Scoop those abs in and up to protect that lower back. Breathe. Bring your hands back in front of your chest. And then twist to the other side. Left elbow goes onto the right knee. Breathe here. Long neck. Slowly, slowly untwist. Lift your arms all the way up and reach up high. Stand tall and bring the arms to the side. Roll your shoulders back. And then find your blocks or your books and just put them right in front so that you can grab them easy. All right, so first come into mountain pose. Lift your toes, spread them out wide, put them back down. Hands onto your hips, and then step your right, bring the weight into your left leg, step your right back into a almost warrior one pose. So your foot is going to turn out towards 1, 2 o'clock, and then your hips look forward. And then scoop your abs in and up, drop the shoulders down, and then bring your elbows and shoulder blades together. Keep your knees straight and forward, forward. And then from here, touch or bring your hands onto the blocks. And then if you don't have blocks and you can't quite reach the floor, just keep your hands on the hips. So if you have your blocks here, push your fingertips in to help you opening up the chest and lengthening that spine. You can also put your hands down. Breathe here, feel the back of that left leg lengthening and opening up. Put your hands back onto the hips. Squeeze shoulder blades, elbows together, and then lift up. And step forward. So what my thumbs are doing also is I'm lengthening actively. So I'm pushing down the material of my top, but also my skin, and I'm pushing it away down when I'm folding forward to help me lengthen and straighten my whole spine. Okay, come in front of the mat again into mountain pose, and then bring your thumbs back on the lower back. Squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows together, step back with or bring the weight into the right and step your left foot back. And then your foot is turned out towards 11 and square your hips forward. Breathe here. And then breathe forward from the hips forward. You could put your hands onto those blocks, either fingertips or maybe the hands. Push your right hip back and bring the left hip forward maybe a little bit, shoulders away from the ears. Breathe here. And then bring your hands back onto the hips. Squeeze shoulder blades, elbows together, lift back up and step forward. And then shake everything out. All right, so now we come into triangle pose, and then we come into revolved triangle pose, or triangle pose with a twist, I'm not sure. But so if you feel like that's a little bit too much, there is 2 options. You can stay in the normal triangle pose. You can do that again, or just put your hand onto the hip. But I talk you through it. So lift your toes, spread them out wide, come into mountain pose. Maybe bounce your knees just a little bit. Have nice unlocked knees. Bring the weight into your left leg, and then step your right foot back for your triangle pose. So the foot is turned out a little. Actually, yeah. Not towards 2 o'clock, more towards like between 2 and 3. And then we open up the hips towards the right side. And I have to open up my stance a little bit, so see if you might have to do the same thing. And then lift your arms, reach up like you would come into warrior 2. And then bring you know what? Forget about that. Just put your hands back and come to the middle of your mat. I just changed my mind. I think it's better to go into warrior two first and then come into that. All right, so same thing, open up your feet. Nice wide stance. And then bring your blocks a little closer towards you if they're not already there. Turn your left foot in, bring your right hand onto the right thigh, and turn your right foot out. Yes, that's much better. And then bend your right knee. We're opening up those hips, lift the arms, reach away from the body. Press down. And at the same time, feel how you grow tall. Look over your front, middle finger. Breathe. And then straighten that front knee. And just for a moment, bring your hands onto the hips. Make sure you have that block here. And then lift the arms again and reach forward. Reach, 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 like you want to grab something. And then we come into triangle pose. So if you have your block here, perfect. Reach up high. Maybe you don't want the block, then just press your hands against the inside of your shin bone. Maybe you want to touch the floor, up to you. You can look up towards the ceiling. You can look straight ahead. And yes, you can put your hand onto the hip and just bring the elbow behind you. Open up towards the front. Breathe. And then slowly we come back out. Bring your hand back onto the hip and slowly stand back up tall. So I'm gonna move my foot just a little bit in. Maybe you wanna do the same. And now we are moving the hips a little bit forward. So it's a really, a warrior one stance a little bit. And then lift your arms all the way up. Reach up high. And then turn your shoulders. Imagine this is like a box, the shoulders and the hips, and we want to turn them forward towards the smaller end of your mat. And then we're gonna open up towards the other side. And adjust your foot. If you feel like, oh Mandy, are you crazy? This is a little too much. Then maybe bring your hand, the back hand onto the hip and reach forward. And then, if you like, lower your hand down and lift the other hand up, or maybe put it onto your hip. Big twist. And then bring the hand back down and lift all the way back up. Lift your arms all the way up. Square the front body towards the front of your mat. And then we'll open up towards that warrior one again. I hope you guys are okay. We are bringing out those organs. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Straighten that front knee. And then just bring your feet together. Kick anything out of the way. And then we do the same thing on the other side. So bring your block over to the other side. Open up your feet. Come into a wide warrior two stance. And then turn. Bring your left hand onto the left thigh. Turn the left foot out. Breathe. Bend your left knee. Lift your arms. Warrior two. Open up the chest. Hips. Straighten your front knee. Reach forward. And when you can't reach anymore, then lower the hand down. You can put the upper hand onto the lower back, open up the chest, or use your block, put the hand onto the block, and come into triangle. You can look up towards the sky, down towards the earth, or right in between, straight ahead. And imagine somebody is giving you a rope and pulls you up towards the sky, lifting you. But feel your feet grounding down. And then bring your hand back onto the hip and lift back up and bring the hand onto your hip. So I'm walking my foot back in a little bit. And I'm turning my right foot in still. And then I want to bring my hips forward. So you definitely have to adjust the foot, okay? So that your hips are not looking this way, they're looking forward. Breathe here. Lift your arms all the way up. Reach up high. And then bring your right arm forward, left arm behind. Turn your upper body towards the left side. You can put your left hand onto the back, onto the lower back. And then reach forward and lower down whenever you're ready. And twist towards the left side. If you feel like it, lift your arm towards the sky. Same thing, imagine somebody's pulling you all the way up. So you're not pressing down into that right hand and into your block. Breathe. Untwist, bring the hand back onto the hip. Lift all the way up. Bring the arms up. And then turn again to the other side. Bring your hands onto your hips. And then kick the block out of the way and shake everything out. All right. How much time do we have? Okay. Come to the front of the mat. I have 2 more twists, but please skip those. All right. Lift your arms all the way to the sky and then forward, forward. Breathe. And just for a moment, if you want to, put both hands, put one hand under one foot and the other one under the other foot. And just come into a nice forward fold. You can bend your knees a little. Breathe here. Feel the spine lengthening, creating space between your vertebrae. Breathe. Let the weight of the head and your upper body help you, pulling you down towards the floor. And then slowly take your hands back onto the floor and step back into downward facing dog. Breathe here. Bring your weight into your left foot. Lift your right leg all the way up. Bend your knee. Open up towards the right side. Keep your shoulders square. And slowly straighten the leg and lower your leg back down. And then bring the weight into your right leg. Lift your left leg all the way up. Bend your knee. Square your shoulders. Opening up the whole lower body. Twisting the lower body. And then straighten the leg. Lower everything back down. And then slowly come onto the tippy toes. And lower down into table. And from table, swing the legs around And bring the knees right in front of you. And whenever you're ready, bring the hands behind you. Lift your right leg. Lift your left leg. Lift your hands and come into both pose. Reach. You can also bring your hands right behind your thighs. And you can maybe play around what it feels like to straighten those legs. And then maybe bend your knees again. Lift the arms forwards. And then see what it feels like to lift the arms without lowering your leg. And then lower your arms again. And see what it feels like to straighten your legs and have your arms, whoops, yes, exactly parallel to your legs. And then bend your knees again. Lower everything back down. Sit up tall. Bring the hands behind you and into step pose. Breathe here. Long spine. And then bring your hands onto your thighs. We come into seated spinal twist. So bring your right knee in. Bring it over to the other side. Bring your left arm around your right knee. And then hug that right knee into the body. Grow tall. And then naturally, very gently and easy, come into that twist towards the right side. Maybe turn your head over towards the right shoulder, only if that feels okay. And then slowly untwist. Take your time. Stretch the leg out. And then bring your left leg in. Same thing. Bring it over to the other side. Flex that right foot. Wrap your right arm around your left knee and hug that left knee in. Bring your left hand behind you. Find that long spine. Twist through the other side, to the left side. And then slowly, slowly untwist. All right, we're gonna do two more things. First is the hip opener. So peddler pose, so you can bring your feet together, the soles of your feet together, and see if you can drop the knees down towards the floor. And I'm just eyeing my blocks because I want to do one more bridge pose with the blocks. Right, so for this one, again, long spine. You feel those sit bones, maybe close your eyes, and then use your feet as the anchor. Grow tall towards the ceiling. Feel how your feet can pull down your shoulders, how you here create space again between shoulders and ears. Breathe. And then slowly fold first from your hips like we did in pyramid pose. From the hips, you feel your elbows maybe on your thighs. And then when you feel like you cannot fold from the hips anymore, then with your next exhale, lower down, round your whole spine over your feet. And maybe your forehead is touching your fingers, maybe your toes, and maybe not. That's fine too. Don't force anything. Let it happen with your breath. So when you inhale, you feel your body lifting a little bit. And then when you exhale, you release. You lower down towards the floor. It's all about the hips and a round spine. And maybe with your next exhale, you can get a little heavier with your head. and feel a little bit more of a stretch in the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders. Relax the tongue in your mouth. And then slowly, slowly, with the next inhale, let the inhale help you to roll all the way out. Okay, so the last one I want to end with is another back bend. So usually that's not how we end with, but I feel today I'm Thanksgiving, that's an option. So you could use, if you have blocks, that might be better. If you don't have blocks, just come into a bridge pose, because I feel like if you have two books on another, it might slide. So don't do that, or use just one book. So I have those two blocks. I put them together like this, but you can also have a little bit of space in between, because this is where we're going to put our feet on. Okay. So then put your feet right beside the blocks. Slide forward. Your push towards those blocks. And then set up the rest of the one first. And then, so as I told you before, when we were standing up and I said, I'm pushing the skin and the fabric off my top with my thumbs down towards my tailbone, away from me, right? I'll do the same thing here. So that there is no curve right now in your lower back. And then relax, so the little curve comes back. And then put your feet onto the blocks. You might have to move the blocks a little bit closer towards you, or a little away. See what it feels like. And then press your elbows down into your mat, into the floor, to create that space, so you can lift up the shoulders a little and squeeze them together, so that you have a nice open shoulder girdle. And then bring your hands right beside you. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out, lengthen the tailbone, press your lower back down, and lift, lift, lift all the way up. And then if you like, you can bring the hands together underneath your body and wiggle from the left to the right, come onto the tops of the shoulders, and then open up the whole front of the body. Long neck. Make sure you don't turn your head to the left or the right. Press into your blocks. Breathe. Unhook the hands. Bring your arms right beside the body. And then again, you squeeze down, or you scoop your abs in and up, and lift that tailbone, because that is the last one that touches the floor. Bone by bone by bone. Perfect. And then bring the knees into the chest and rock gently from side to side. And now do any pose that you feel like you want to do. Maybe come into a spinal twist one more time, or maybe come into happy baby pose, or maybe you just want to squeeze the knees into the chest. Whatever you feel like you want to do, go ahead, do that right now. And if you don't want to do anything and you want to get ready for Shavasana, perfect. Go ahead, do that. All right. Shaking the legs out. And then find your comfy position, stretch your legs out, have something underneath your knees, maybe have your socks on, maybe put a blanket over your body. If you have that, definitely do it. Maybe you have an eye pillow. Just get ready. And let's do just a little bit, because today might be a little stressful. Just let's do a little bit of stress release. So whenever you're ready, you lie down on your back, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, exhale out with a sigh. Out second time. And because it's Thanksgiving, a third time. And then make fist with both hands. Squeeze all 10 fingers together. Tighten up your forearms, your elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders. Tighten them up, press them down into the floor, but at the same time, like you want to lift something up. Tighten every muscle in your arms. Keep that, keep it tight. Squeeze, 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 and then relax. Same thing with your legs. Curl your toes. Maybe tighten up those legs as if you want to lift them up. Squeeze those glute muscles together. Your inner thighs, the calf muscles. Squeeze everything. Squeeze it tight. Hold this. Hold this. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And let go. And then scrunch your face, squeeze your eyes together, squeeze your mouth together, squeeze everything tight, tight, tight. Something is really bothering you. Really squeeze your face, everything that you can think of, squeeze it together. And then squeeze, 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 and let go. And of course, now we do everything together. So we start with the fingers, make fists, squeeze those forearms, those elbows, shoulders, curl your toes, squeeze your calf muscles, the glutes, like you're lifting up a little, squeeze the face together, scrunch up your forehead, your eyes squeeze together, your mouth, hold, squeeze everything, tighten every muscle in your body and hold this, squeeze, 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 and let go. And then just follow your breath. Count your inhale, count your exhale, all the way up to 10. And then start again. Let the thoughts come and go. Return back to the counting of the breath.
Now, without changing anything, bring your attention back to your body. Start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Stretch your legs, stretch your arms. Then slowly bend one knee and then the other. Roll onto your right side. Stay here. And whenever you are ready, slowly push yourself up into a seated position. And then bring your hands in front of your chest. And then bring the chin towards the chest. And thank yourself for coming here. I thank you for coming. Namaste.